Mystical Levels 1. Welcome. Thank you very much for finding us here on this beautiful summer and beach day. Personality development through You Are More. I specifically said it like that as a lecture topic instead of There is more in you. You are more. It's really about being. The experience of being sounds so boring. And then I just want to go through the stages again. That would be open to every person. If, for example, the school system found these values important, that is my dream. Then, at the end of school, they would all be completely and happily enlightened, but I think they would then work less on them, and in this respect the system could have slightly different interests at the moment have. The stages I would like to go through with you are, first of all, I'll start with normal everyday awareness, then the second stage being able to look over your own shoulder. Psychologists call this metacognition. And what's the point if they can look over each other's shoulders? It's like the friction joke, at least in the Berlin context. Yes, friction. You've been in psychoanalysis for 5 years now because of bedwetting, and what? Is gone now? Nope, but I don't mind anymore. To be able to just look over your own shoulder is perhaps not enough, and that's why I call the third stage free self. It's like when you discover, oh God, I'm looking over my shoulder. Actually, I've now realized that we humans are all different snowflakes, but somehow I'm cube-shaped. Something went wrong there. How do I get the thing to liquefy again, and how do I become a snowflake? So I free it to give itself shape, fully responsible, fully aware, and of course that is also the final farewell to being a victim. There may still be a bit of sacrifice in a few small corners, but otherwise it will be very boring. This is what you can understand from a psychotherapeutic perspective. In fact, there are now enough psychotherapeutic approaches that use this potential of old monastic exercises, and also books like Daniel Hell, Psychotherapy with the Desert Fathers, so that you say, yes, they actually had everything they could, because it's about self-interrogation, very in-depth self-interrogation, first of all with the monks, but they also had other techniques for me. Now the fourth stage is what I call one, becoming one with Christ. Whoever likes Krishna more, or Buddha, then take your favorite deity, although I wouldn't say they are all the same. And now even further, because the Buddhists strive to become one with something like the original cause, nirvana. Nirvana is also a very tasty organic chocolate. You can also become one with it. But now here with the, yes, whether you call it Fatherly World Foundation, these are all metaphors. This is the area that Buddhists say in their Heart Sutra form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. It's very difficult to think, but it's so comparable if you have a battery like that. There is electricity in the battery. But what forms does it take? He can become a light, he can make music, or maybe he can be a little drummer. Oh God, this is stealth advertising. And then I have to sprinkle it out afterwards. Let's see how my unconscious is already shaped. So that's the universal liquefaction level, where of course it's best when you discover, oh God, I'm cube-shaped and my beautiful snowflake spikes are almost completely gone, but I still have a lot of success in society. How do I get lost again? So this is the most important level. Scientists now also say that energy is matter, matter is energy. To illustrate what I am saying today, I would like to use one of the best, most detailed experiences of nature that naturalists have found. It comes from Mellon Thomas Benedict. If you type this into a search engine, you will find this in great detail. These are several affiliate sites. Kenneth Ring is one of the early SEAM researchers, and he has also written several books. He also gained such experiences in the first book, and in his second book. I think that's much more important. How do personality traits change after such an experience? And then you realize that I'm enlightened now, but I can't really get along with society anymore. I also find this a very exciting topic. And this Kenneth Ring said about this near-death experience of Mellon Thomas Benedict. It is so outstanding, so extraordinary, and so detailed that I'm not including it in my book about near-death experiences. That would diminish their status. In terms of form, This experience reminds me of what mystics have actually described over the centuries as a journey to heaven. They talked about traveling through different levels of heaven. In Christianity, there's a Dionysius Areopagitra who likes to talk about the heavenly hierarchies and old texts like that. And then we also notice that when they travel through heaven, they rediscover the feudal and permanent society of that time. So the title of the heavenly hierarchies. But this topic of traveling through different levels of reality, which is shown to you, is also a classic topic. Melon Thomas Benedict is now traveling through all these levels to this, yes, to nothingness, to the Heart Sutra, while the classic near-death traveler actually only makes it to the lower paradise. He sees these green meadows, and then it's beautiful, meets his relatives and thinks, great, it's heaven. So there is more than this lowest heaven, the Buddhists also say. So that's what awaits you tonight. So I would like to go through these different levels with you and then illustrate the levels again very well through Melon Thomas Benedict nature experience. The next stage would now be the third, which I call Free as Me. In one of my advanced seminars, I asked course participants the question, yes, if you could tick off an order catalog like that with God or whoever, who would you like to be as a self-image? There is often great perplexity because there is often no answer in the 95% routine program. This question was hardly asked in the education system, the question about self-image. So who do you want to be in terms of character? What are your goals? What would you do if you wanted to be absolutely happy? What are you interested in? Then you quickly realize that somehow that's not what my life was about. And this is now, this level, after we have seen and discovered within ourselves what kind of disruptive programs are, that we can now replace programs with the help of high concentration and at the same time deep relaxation. The television is a hypnosis machine. You can tell that from the higher frequency. And if something like mantras, advertising mantras, or political freshness, we can do it or nothing. That is impossible. The pensions are safe, that's all I'm saying. Things just sit with the penetrance form repetition. This is eroding. That's why monks also work with repetition. Benedictine monks also say that people grow from the outside in, and that we decide for ourselves. I only leave water and CD on my skin. I only allow the mantras in my mind that I have decided on myself. So also through repetition, in deep relaxation with high concentration, after we have answered the question, what kind of self-image do I want to have? Once you anchor the new self-image in yourself, you really start to trigger the disruptive programs. And that's very nice from a psychoanalytic point of view, because you see for yourself, the others weren't to blame at all. It's their own fears, they're their own prohibitions, and you always think that the others have forbidden it to me. So this is also very conscious shadow work, as others call it, the free me. So they increasingly become who they want to be. Also with all these consciousness techniques from mysticism. And these are all still, as some say, very secular stages of development.